Welcome to the new episode of Save the Human Mind. Today, we will explore how the ancient lessons of Stoicism can offer us valuable guidance for living with wisdom and serenity in the modern world. If you are ready to discover how to transform your life through these timeless teachings, this episode is for you. But before we dive into specific lessons, it's important to understand that Stoicism, with its roots in ancient Greece and its evolution in imperial Rome, offers us a practical philosophy for facing daily challenges. This ancient wisdom teaches us to live in harmony with nature, to cultivate virtue, and to maintain inner serenity in the face of adversity. Today, we will explore how these teachings can be applied in our modern lives to help us live with greater awareness and inner peace.
1. The art of letting go.
The Stoic philosophers of ancient Rome understood that true serenity arises from accepting what we cannot control. In their view, worries and anxieties often stem from the futile attempt to change the inevitable. Learning to let go of what is beyond our control does not mean giving up, but rather directing our energy towards what we can actually influence. Today, in a world characterized by uncertainties and constant changes, this lesson is more relevant than ever. Focusing on what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and reactions, allows us to maintain calm and mental clarity, even in the most complex situations. This awareness frees us from the unnecessary burden of worries, promoting a more serene and fulfilling life. The art of letting go is thus a practice that requires time and reflection, but once mastered, it becomes a powerful source of inner balance. Recognizing and accepting the limits of our control not only makes us more resilient, but also helps us live with greater peace and awareness.
2. Changing perspective to change life.
The perspective we adopt towards the events of life is crucial for our well-being. Events themselves do not have intrinsic meaning. It is our interpretation that defines them as positive or negative. Stoicism teaches us that we can choose to see every situation not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to grow and improve. Changing perspective means taking control of our mind, transforming potential challenges into learning opportunities. This approach not only makes us more resilient, but also allows us to live with greater serenity. When we view difficulties as tools for growth, our attitude towards life transforms, making us stronger and more capable of handling any situation. The ability to reinterpret events with a positive mindset is one of the keys to living a more fulfilling life. Through the consistent practice of this Stoic principle, we can not only face challenges with greater confidence, but also discover new opportunities where others might see only problems.
3. Living in the here and now.
Life in its purest essence unfolds exclusively in the present moment. It is here in the here and now that we find the opportunity to live fully and experience reality in all its depth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, left us with a fundamental teaching. We must anchor ourselves to the present without being enslaved by regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. This concept, which may seem simple, requires constant practice and acute awareness. Mindfulness, or awareness of the present moment, is the tool through which we can apply this Stoic wisdom in our daily lives. When we are present, we are truly connected to what we are experiencing. Every action, thought, and emotion unfolds with full and conscious attention. This approach not only allows us to fully enjoy each moment, but also helps us reduce stress and find lasting inner peace.
4. Self-discipline as a path to freedom.
Self-discipline is not a form of restriction, but a path to true freedom. Stoic teachings guide us to live in accordance with our values, resisting temptations and momentary impulses that could divert us from our purpose. For Stoic philosophers, self-discipline was essential for achieving eudaimonia, the well-being that comes from harmony with oneself and the world. It's not just about saying no to distractions, but about committing with determination to what truly matters, even when it's difficult. In daily life, self-discipline is reflected in the small choices we make. Getting up early to follow a positive routine, staying calm under pressure, choosing carefully what we eat, and persisting in a goal despite obstacles. Every disciplined action strengthens our character and brings us closer to a life in harmony with our principles.
5. Emotions and reactions. How to take control of your life.
Emotions are an intrinsic part of the human condition, emerging spontaneously and often in response to external stimuli. However, the real challenge lies not in trying to suppress or ignore these emotions, but in effectively managing our reactions to them. As the Stoics taught, emotions themselves are neither good nor bad. It is our response that determines their impact on our lives. Philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius emphasize that mental serenity and inner peace derive from the ability to consciously choose how to react to emotions. This distinction between emotion and reaction is crucial. While emotions can be intense and immediate, we always have a margin of control over how we decide to respond. In a modern world characterized by stress and constant stimuli, this ability to respond consciously is not only ancient wisdom, but an essential survival skill. For example, in the face of a conflict situation, anger may naturally and instantly arise. However, instead of letting anger drive our actions, we can pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with our values and long-term goals. This approach doesn't mean denying or repressing anger, but rather recognizing it, understanding its origin, and deciding how to use it constructively. So while emotions are inevitable and often unpredictable, the power of choice always lies within us. Cultivating the ability to respond consciously to emotions is a practice that allows us to live with greater serenity, balance, and resilience, facing life's challenges with a calm mind and a steady heart.
6. Embracing personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility is one of the fundamental pillars of Stoicism and represents an essential principle for living an authentic and meaningful life. The Stoics firmly believed that while we cannot control everything that happens around us, we have the power to control our actions, decisions, and reactions. This concept, seemingly simple, has profound implications that touch every aspect of our existence. Personal responsibility is not just about acknowledging our choices, but also recognizing our role in shaping the course of our lives. It means taking full responsibility for our actions and their consequences without seeking to blame others or external circumstances. In other words, living with personal responsibility means recognizing that we are the primary architects of our destiny. Epictetus, one of the principal Stoic philosophers, stated, "It is not events but our view of them that is the determining factor. We should be more concerned with removing wrong thoughts from the mind than removing abscesses and tumors from the body."
7. Wisdom as the supreme guide.
In a world characterized by a constant flow of information, distinguishing between knowledge and wisdom is more important than ever. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius taught us that wisdom goes beyond the mere accumulation of information. It is the ability to discern what is truly important and to apply this understanding to our daily lives. Wisdom, according to Stoicism, is the virtue that guides us in making thoughtful decisions and maintaining a balanced perspective in the face of challenges. It's not just about knowing what is right, but about acting in accordance with that knowledge. This requires a constant exercise of critical reflection, which allows us to evaluate situations with clarity and choose the path that leads to well-being and inner peace. Moreover, wisdom teaches us to recognize the limits of our understanding. The Stoic philosophers insisted that no one possesses complete knowledge and that we must always be open to learning and correcting our mistakes. This intellectual humility is what allows us to grow continuously and adapt to the changing circumstances of life. Applying wisdom also means knowing how to balance our desires with reality. The Stoics warn us against excessive ambition or the blind pursuit of unrealistic goals, as such attitudes can lead to frustration and disappointment. Instead, they encourage us to cultivate wisdom as an inner compass, guiding us towards choices that reflect our values and lead to a serene and meaningful life. Wisdom, therefore, is not a destination, but a continuous journey of learning and practical application. It is through wisdom that we can navigate the complexities of life, maintaining mental clarity and emotional serenity, regardless of the storms we may encounter along the way.
8. Forgiveness as a tool for liberation.
Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for achieving inner peace, as taught by Stoic philosophers such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. Far from being a sign of weakness, forgiveness represents an act of strength that frees us from the grip of resentment and hatred, emotions that consume us and prevent us from living serenely. For the Stoics, forgiveness means recognizing human imperfection and choosing not to be enslaved by negative emotions. As Epictetus stated, we cannot control the actions of others, but we can always control our reactions. Forgiveness thus becomes an act of self-determination, allowing us to maintain control over our emotional life regardless of external circumstances. In the modern context, the practice of forgiveness helps us manage daily conflicts and misunderstandings, fostering healthier relationships and greater personal well-being. Freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment not only improves our mental and emotional health, but also enables us to face life's challenges with greater balance and resilience. Thus, forgiveness is a deliberate act of liberation that embodies the Stoic principles of self-control and the pursuit of inner tranquility. Through forgiveness, we choose to live with lightness and awareness, building a more authentic and harmonious life.
9. Embracing change as an opportunity.
Change is one of the few constants in life. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, teaches us to perceive change not as an enemy to be feared, but as an ally that offers us opportunities for growth and improvement. This view is deeply different from the human instinct to resist change, an instinct rooted in the fear of the unknown and attachment to the comforts of the present. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca saw change as a natural manifestation of the flow of life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on how the universe itself is in continuous transformation and how everything, from the seasons to human lives, follows a cycle of birth, growth, decline, and rebirth. For the Romans, adapting to this flow was not just a necessity, but a virtue that allowed them to live in harmony with nature. Embracing change, according to Stoicism, means recognizing that resistance is futile and that instead of fighting against the forces of transformation, we should harness them to our advantage. This principle can be applied to many aspects of our modern lives. For example, when we face sudden changes in work or personal relationships, we can choose to see these moments as catalysts for new opportunities rather than as disasters to be feared. Every time we accept change and adapt, we become stronger, more flexible, and better equipped to face future challenges. Instead of being overwhelmed by events, we learn to navigate them with wisdom and composure.
10. Inner wealth as true happiness.
In the modern era, success is often measured through the lens of material possession, luxurious homes, expensive cars, designer clothes, and well-stocked bank accounts. However, according to Stoic philosophy, this view of happiness is profoundly misleading. The Stoics argued that true happiness is not found in accumulating material goods, but in cultivating inner wealth through the quality of our character, our relationships, and our ability to live in harmony with ourselves and others. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, often warned his contemporaries about the dangers of attachment to material possessions. In one of his letters to Lucilius, he wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. What does it matter how much a man is laid up in his safe, how large are his flocks and herds, how much grain his threshing floor is packed with, if he covets his neighbor's property, and reckons not his past gains, but his hopes of gains to come? Do you ask what is the proper limit to wealth? It is, first, to have what is necessary, and second, to have what is enough." This simple statement reflects a profound Stoic teaching. True poverty lies in the insatiable desire for more, while true wealth is found in the ability to be satisfied with what one has. The pursuit of inner wealth begins with self-awareness and reflection on our life's purpose. The Stoics believed that every individual possesses a telos, an ultimate end or mission to fulfill. Achieving this purpose requires a deep understanding of one's values and virtues. For example, practicing wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, the four cardinal virtues of Stoicism, not only brings us closer to our purpose, but also helps us develop an inner wealth that cannot be affected by external circumstances. The philosopher Epictetus, born a slave and later becoming one of the greatest Stoic teachers, taught that true freedom lies in freeing ourselves from unnecessary desires and cultivating inner peace. For Epictetus, freedom and happiness were inseparable from self-control and the ability to live according to one's values, regardless of external circumstances. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages equating personal value with external wealth, Stoic teachings invite us to look within ourselves to find true happiness. Cultivating inner wealth means developing a strong character, nurturing meaningful relationships, and living in harmony with our deepest values.
11. The power of gratitude.
Gratitude, one of the most celebrated virtues in Stoic philosophy, is often undervalued in our modern society, which tends to focus on what is lacking rather than on what we already possess. However, the ancient Stoics recognized gratitude not just as an act of courtesy, but as a transformative force capable of radically changing our approach to life and our inner well-being. To be grateful, according to the Stoics, is to recognize the intrinsic value of everyday experiences, even those that at first glance may seem trivial or negative. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, in his Meditations, reminds us of the importance of appreciating each day as a gift. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Learning to appreciate what we already have allows us to find joy even in small things, making us less vulnerable to insatiable desires. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true wealth does not lie in accumulating goods, but in recognizing the value of what is already present in our lives. Those who cannot find satisfaction in what they already have risk never feeling fulfilled. Cultivating daily gratitude helps us achieve an inner serenity that the insatiable desire for more can never offer.
12. The value of relationships.
Human relationships are fundamental to our existence and emotional well-being. The Stoics, despite being known for their rational and detached approach to life, recognized the crucial importance of human connections. Marcus Aurelius, for example, emphasized the necessity of living in harmony with others, as our social nature drives us to connect and collaborate. Relationships based on love, respect, and understanding not only enrich our lives but also provide the support needed to face adversity. In the context of Stoicism, authentic relationships are seen as an opportunity to exercise virtues such as patience, empathy, and kindness. Being present for others, listening to them, and supporting them not only strengthens our bonds, but also helps us grow as individuals. The Stoics believed that through relationships we can develop our capacity to love selflessly and live in harmony with others, contributing to collective well-being. Moreover, authentic relationships serve as a mirror, reflecting not only our character but also the areas where we can improve. Living and interacting with others forces us to confront our weaknesses, but at the same time, it offers us the opportunity to overcome them. In a world where digital connection has often replaced personal interaction, it is essential to rediscover the value of true relationships, which nourish our spirit and make us more resilient. The 12 Stoic lessons we have explored are powerful tools for building a more serene and fulfilling life. Stoicism, with its millennia-old wisdom, offers us not only a philosophy of life but also a practical approach, validated over time, to successfully face daily challenges, turning every obstacle into an opportunity for growth. Integrating these lessons into our lives is not just an act of awareness, but a path towards deep resilience and lasting balance. We thank you for accompanying us on this journey through Stoic wisdom in Save the Human Mind. We invite you to subscribe to our podcast to continue discovering new tools for personal growth. Additionally, visit our website to access exclusive resources, scientific studies, and in-depth insights on how to empower your mind and transform every aspect of your daily life. Remember, the path to a life of inner strength and serenity begins with a conscious choice. Take the first step today.